What's up, everybody? It's your boy Twisty Punch, and in today's video, we're going to be talking to a guy from the Air Force. Yes, this is that experimental video I was telling you about. It's an interview video, my first one. But before we get started, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe and hit that bell notification. That way, you'll know whenever I uploaded a video. So, let's get started. Here we go! So, with a name like Sex Haver, I gotta ask, what is your story?
Frankly, doesn't really have much to do with sex. I just thought of this funny name one day. So, yeah, I'm Sex Haver. Usually my name is Mustache Moose, but I haven't changed it in a while, and I think Sex Haver is really funny. So, yeah, I kept it.
Moose, huh?
Yep, Mustache Moose.
Where'd you...
My Steam picture is a picture of a moose with a big brown mustache. And that was actually, I chose that name because my grandfather, my late grandfather, he actually had a trucking company called Foose Trucking. That was his last name. And, you know, Foose, moose, it rhymes. And he had a big mustache. So his CB handle was Mustache Moose. And I also have a mustache. I have a big mustache. So, I don't know. Mustache Moose for me too. Version 2.
Are you like Canadian?
No, I'm American.
Oh, okay.
How's that
What about
trucking
you?
company still doing?
I think it still exists, but I mean, obviously my grandfather is no longer here, so it's one of his brother's son owns the company now. So, yeah, pretty cool. So I think it still exists. I don't know.
Well, that's pretty cool. Didn't expect to get
Yup.
that much detail out of asking about your name, but that's really cool.
Yeah, not even my name though. I mean, it's Sex Haver right now. It's supposed to be Mustache Moose, but you know, did it for the lols.
I guess you can just call, if anybody says anything or complains about, like, nah, it's Essex Haver Essex. It's ancient Dutch Welsh for sex have. I mean, the mustache moose.
Yeah. I always get a kick out of when people are just like, "Oh my God, this guy's name is Sex Haver," and they just start laughing. Like, you know, that's why I've kept my name. 'Cause people think it's funny, so you know, makes me happy.
It is pretty hilarious. It is pretty hilarious. Is the 1809 significant to anything, or does it hold significance?
What the 4 digits? No, that doesn't mean anything.
It's not your PIN number,
It's
is
just
it?
whatever. Oh God, no. It's just whatever VR chat gave me. Well, my name is Sex Haver, of course, Mustache Moose, like I said. Uh, I don't. I'm in the Air Force. I think that's kind of funny because a lot of Sir Moore's videos, like I was telling you, a lot of the people he talks to are in the military, like most specifically, like the Air Force. So I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, Air
I've
Force,
been in
huh?
it for like, yeah, I've been in it for like less than a year.
What do you think? You enjoying your time in the service?
It's all right. I mean, nothing to complain about, but nothing too extravagant, you know? It's just like a job for me right now. So it's pretty cool. I always saw myself doing something in the military, so I figured might as well go with the branch that treats their people the best, you know, the Air Force. So, yeah, making good money, having, you know, a decent time other than, you know, like COVID. Can't really do much. But yeah, it's going great. I like it so far.
What made you want to get in the Air Force, like in the military?
Mainly just like education, because I mean, like, you get a bunch of tuition money if you join the military, and I'm actually really close to getting my degree, so I can use the Air Force to help me pay for the last year of college that I have to do. And then also just, a job. The career I'm doing, which I basically just fix jet engines, that can translate to the civilian field where I can get a civilian job that pays really well, uh, doing the same exact thing as I'm doing now. So that's really cool. So I have the option to go with whatever my degree is in or whatever I'm learning right now in the Air Force. So it's given me multiple opportunities, so it's pretty cool.
Do you ever have any family that served?
Yeah, my grandfather, actually both my grandfathers, those are the only people in my family who have served. My grandfather on my mother's side served in the army, and on my dad's side served in the Navy.
When was that?
Back in the 50s for both of them, I believe. I think they were both in for about 4 to 6 years. I don't exactly know. I didn't ask much, so,
How long do you plan to stick around? You want to go through it in the long run, or are you just gonna try to transfer into the civilian field?
You don't know how many times I've been asked that question, man. Like, I feel like everyone who I talk to about the Air Force asks me, "Are you gonna stick and do 20 years and get retirement or not?" And honestly, every time I tell them, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. It's just depending on how I'm feeling when I'm up for reenlistment
Uh huh.
after these first 4 years. If I'm like, I like the Air Force and I want to stick around uh, for another 16 years, uh, I'll reenlist. I mean, it's not going bad so far, so I mean, I'd like to do that because it's job security, it's retirement money, and all that. But I mean, there's also the possibility that I could get fed up with it, like a lot of people do, and then just get out. So, we'll see where the road takes me.
It sounds like it's pretty easy to get
Cool.
into.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to get into, but, learning my job right now has actually been pretty difficult because oh my God, there's so much you have to know about jet engines. It's really crazy. I'm hoping that in my next 4 years, I'll get deployed or maybe go on temporary duty and, see some cool things, meet some, interesting people. Uh, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Where were you hoping to go?
I mean, honestly, anywhere. I used to live on the East Coast, and now I'm out here on the West Coast. I've never even been to the West Coast, and now I live out here now. Um, and I can go places, like the Middle East, Japan, Alaska, Hawaii, like literally anywhere I can go. It's just a matter of like, when, because the opportunity doesn't arise too much. I don't know. I just want to have like, a cool story when I tell people that I'm in the Air Force. I want to be able to say I've been to some cool places, seen some cool things, you know, done some cool things.
What about basic training? How was that for you?
Oh, that was fun. That was very fun to put it in simple words. It's not as hard as it could have been because, it's Air Force and we're kind of considered like the most like prissy branch. if it were like the Marines or the Army or something like that, it might have been worse. But it is what it is. It was difficult because you're away for 2 months. You don't really have much contact with family. All you can do is write them letters, and you're stuck with a bunch of dudes, like 40 guys, for 2 months. You pretty much have to work together or fail, and there was a lot of fights. There was a lot of like heart to heart moments at basic, because like guys like us have never gone through anything like that before. But I think it was good. It gave me a lot of insight, and actually it helped me get a little bit more fit too, because before I went to basic, I was pretty much a lazy fuck. I didn't work out or do much until I was going into the Air Force. I started running. I started lifting weights. And then when I got in the Air Force, I lost like a ton of weight, and I'm honestly like I look the best that like I've ever looked. So it's pretty cool. But I'll tell you, those military training instructors in the Air Force are no joke. I got my ass chewed out multiple times. I can't remember anything specific, but there were definitely like some big fuck up in my flight that, oh my God, they got yelled at so much, and it was so painful to see because they were like such nice people, but they just weren't like doing what they were supposed to be doing. And when they got chewed out, it was just like everyone in the whole entire dorm would just stare at them while they're and it's just like there's nothing you can do. It's like, oh, that was the worst stuff from basic training. Yeah. um Definitely sucks living away from your family. I mean, like I said, I've never even like been to the West Coast, and now that I've just completely moved from the East Coast to the West Coast, like it's changed my entire life. Like I don't know anyone here. Well, I didn't know anyone here until I started, getting into work and meeting my coworkers and whatnot. Now I have like a few friends, but like my entire life is pretty much back home on the East Coast. So you have to keep that in mind, that you are probably not going to see your family very much if you join the military, especially if you go on deployments, because deployments can be up to 6 months. Gets to be pretty crazy. Actually, I've actually like had some pretty stressful moments just thinking like, wow, I'm not going to see my family very much. And I don't know, it's been pretty rough, but I'm over that now. Best thing is, we live in the future, like with technology, so you can always like FaceTime your family, call your family. So try to keep in much contact with them as I can. My job is aerospace propulsion, which is a fancy way of saying jet engine mechanic. I work on C-17 engines, which if it was in this room with us right now, it would not fit in this like hallway we got here, because it is pretty big. I think the C-17 is probably one of the biggest airframes in the Air Force, probably like top 5. But I work on them, so I'm learning. I'm mostly learning at this point, but I'm still able to do like basic repairs and basic maintenance. But there is so much to learn about these engines, because they have so many different systems and so many different components, and you basically have to learn about it on the little laptop that they give you. And you got to know where to look on the laptop. You got to know how to read the specific like manual that they give you. And then you got to, there's so much other stuff. I can't even explain it all. It would take way too long. But that's why it takes so long to learn my job, is because there's so much. You think, oh, this part on the jet is, or this part on the engine is broken. Let's go fix it. But no, there's so many like extra steps you have to do before you can even fix it. It's basically just Air Force regulation. That's why you have to do it, just so you know that the job is done right, the job is written right, and everything else is good. So it's a lot more stressful than some other jobs in the Air Force. I mean, it's the hardest job I've ever had. It's not the highest paying job I've ever had, but it is, like I said, you can make a career out of this as a civilian and make some pretty good money. So, it's all worth it. Don't think about if like you're not cut out for the Air Force, because honestly, no one really is. The Air Force makes you cut out for the Air Force. Once you go in, they kind of, reshape you, get your mind straight. Not in like a brainwashing type of way, but they have your best interests there. So if it's what you want to do, then you just got to take that leap of faith. Like there's nothing that's gonna, stop you other than yourself if you're really thinking about doing it. So I mean, just do what you want to do. I was thinking about doing it for my entire life, and I finally just said, I'm gonna walk into the recruiter's office, start talking to him. Which that's also a good thing. If you're thinking about doing it, go talk to a recruiter and start getting some information. You don't even have to commit to anything until you get all this information. Start searching it up online and doing. But do keep in mind that, I mean, the stereotype is true that recruiters do lie a little bit. So, just use your best judgment and, you'll be all right. So, yeah. You meet some pretty cool people in the Air Force. People that, think pretty similar to you. I'm going to keep in contact with the people I've met in the Air Force for my entire life.
Alright everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the interview and you want to see more, make sure to let me know in the comment section. And don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and tell all your friends. I don't know what else you want from me, so